If you want to talk about arrogance and mental instability, oof, that's what I'm here for. Wow. I keep a close eye on myself. I walk the line. Keep a close eye on this something of mine. I walk the line. I walk the line. This thing's going on in there. And there's one of these house managers talking, and he mentions the idea that as a house manager, they aren't allowed on the floor of the Capitol building. It's like, I didn't know it was so secure. I didn't know they had so many rules. But this guy that's standing there asking all these questions and telling all these truths as he sees them, which seem to be very in line with what the truth is as it stands. The truth stands alone. However you see it, it obfuscates it, it confuses it, it changes it. The truth is what it is. And this guy that's standing there sharing the truth, he mentioned just now, I'm not normally allowed out here because this is a sacred place. And I think about it. I seem to think about the very time I was in England. I did a semester in England, and at that time, they opened the gates, and I stood on the floor of Parliament. I went up and I stood behind the podium, and I looked out across the room, because whereas it had never been anybody's right, it was my right at that point. I stood there. I felt it. I was like, this is something. We were there at a time when people just don't walk onto the floor of Parliament. And it was just shown to me when this house manager says, they don't let us out here. This is a sacred place. There are very few people that get to walk on these grounds. And like walking across a cemetery where few people can feel comfortable, where they don't belong, unhallowed ground. I stood there and I said, it feels all right. They should have never let me in. What's that tell us? Every once in a while, every one of us has the mind where we're sharing it with these people. These people we're looking at, they think they're so far beyond us. They're not. They're proving themselves constantly. Look at each and every one of them. They're proving themselves to be a part of us. It's like that movie Number 9 with the different personalities of the human race. 9 of them. You got the coward, you got the strong person, you got the brave, you've got the one that's got to hold it all together. We have many different aspects of ourselves. And that day, standing on the floor of Parliament, I'm not going to stand up and tell anybody what to do. But what that tells me is that I, like you, as people, we have every right to stand and think about what it's about. And we have every responsibility to share it. If we lie low and let some jack asinine bullshit artist tell us how to be, and everything doesn't work out the way that jack asinine bullshit artist told us it would, then we have everything coming to us. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Somebody's pushing us down the road because they're afraid that everything they believed and were taught growing up might not come true. So they're going to push the issue. They're going to push the issue. You need to be able to stand there on that ground. I'm not saying go in there. Every one of those people that stood on that floor that day, I'm convinced, they had no reasoning for being there except for being told. They didn't have any want, they didn't have any need, they didn't have any understanding.